Hi, friends. Welcome back to Fifth Road Tarot. I'm here to give you your weekly reading. I hope are having a great, a great weekend and enjoying yourselves. Um, some astrological updates. We've got Mercury is going into retrograde today. You wouldn't know it by the amount of phone calls I've been getting lately. So it's like all weekend has been so quiet. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden everybody wants to call, which is it's great. I welcome it. I welcome the communication. I love it. But anyway, glad to have you all back today. The reason that I have my throat, sacral, and heart chakra candles lit is because I'm thinking that the Mercury retrograde, for at least for me, the energy that I'm experiencing is I'm going to have to be either more vocal about what I'm feeling and what I want to happen, or I'm going to have to be I'm going to have to be able to listen more, either internally or to other people. So to me, that's what Mercury retrograde is all about, is really about doing the work of understanding more about self and more about um, others by listening, either just by watching or by our actions or by what we're hearing, and really letting that guide any action that we might take or decide on after Mercury retrograde passes. So, thank you again for being here today. um, I'm going to go ahead and continue the shuffle here and use this time to also talk to people who might be new to tarot. To just a reminder is that tarot is all about free will. This message that I bring you today will not resonate with everyone. I think of tarot as a means of, yes, it is a means of divination, but I also see it as a way of storytelling in order to get more in touch with who we are, and how we can maybe look at things differently in our lives, or take a new look at it through a new lens, or take a new perspective. Because if you think about it, if you grew up on maybe fairy tales and things like that, those were stories that really were telling us about, um, not just fantasy stories, but they were telling us about either our internal, like, psyche and how we moved. Of course, as kids, we didn't know about psyche, but we could understand how to move and move through different things in our lives, different scenarios in our lives. So this is what I kind of look at this as storytelling, but if we relate to it in our lives, maybe we can understand or even begin to better question some of our decisions, and our opportunity, maybe even identify some opportunities for change. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more shuffle here, and then I am going to call on Spirit. Spirit, thank you so much. I call on my divine and enlightened ancestors and my enlightened masters and teachers to come through me today to help in this reading, for the general collective for the week of, February 16th. Um, thank you so much, Spirit, and thank you for the message that we are about to hear today. All right, let's get started. All right, Spirit, what messages do we have today? Ooh, nice. High Priestess came out. What message do we have for the collective today, Spirit? Wow, that just popped up right there. What message do we have for the collective? We've got the Hermit. All right. I'm just going to continue through. Maybe Spirit has another card for us. Well, a lot of them are popping up out of there. Okay. A lot of them popped up, but didn't pop enough. All right. I went ahead and flipped the bottom of the deck, and we've got the Nine of Swords. And if you've seen earlier this week, I actually posted about the Nine of Swords. So, but let's go through this reading. All right. So, first up, we've got the High Priestess. And then, second up, we've got the Ace of Swords. And last, we have the Hermit. Okay, so give me a quick minute and I'm going to review the cards here and see what Spirit has to tell us today. So, off of the top, what I'm hearing, seeing in the cards is someone is dealing with some memories. Yeah, someone is dealing with some memories, and actually, someone is getting clarity about memories. And it might be coming through your intuition. Um, for those who are new to talking about things like intuition, our intuition is everyone is intuitive. Everyone has this intuitive ability because if we think about how animals in the wild react to situations or even understand without even seeing that there's danger around or something like that, well, that's more instinct. But our intuition really is about our intuition is about a knowing without a confirmation of actually like seeing it. It's knowing before the thing, knowing without knowing how you know. But knowing that knowing is trustworthy, which is where the High Priestess comes in. Is this is someone who not only knows that they're intuitive but trusts their intuition. And the High Priestess is someone who knows all this, has this knowledge and this intuition, but as you can see, her mouth is closed. She sits on her throne. Behind her is this cloth that almost seems like a gateway, right? To it might even seem like a portal because even we look at the crown on the top of her head and there's a circle there. To me, that's kind of like a knowledge, an understanding portal between to another world. So to me, it's this high priestess that is, and again, high priestess, male or female. This is the energy that is possessed, that you are in possession of, which is this intuitive energy. And to me, what's going on? Oh, just one second. This candle is looking like it's got some issues. I'm going to just quickly get it out of the way here. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I just don't want the smoke alarm to go off in the middle of the reading. But I am back. All right. So, yes, the high priestess, this is someone who is intuitive, and she does not have she has the knowledge. And when I say she has the knowledge, but she's not speaking about it. She knows what's going on, right? The Ace of Swords. This is the first card in the Swords suite. And of course, swords are about ideas and thoughts. Um, the Ace of Swords in particular is a hand with a sword that's crowned and has all this kind of like shiny fire brightness coming off of it. This represents um, clarity, a new idea, a new opportunity for a thought the approach of a new idea, right? So it looks to me that this high priestess has this knowledge and is either handing someone clarity or is receiving in receipt of clarity, right? About, and I say this is about a memory, something either, if we think about as the word, think about the word memory. Um, the context that I'm using it in is memory could be either something that you remember from the past or something that you remember from another, I want to say another life, another um a previous uh, either a past life or another dimension or another world. I mean, if you want to go in that direction, please by all means go in that direction. I'm still exploring that as far as other dimensions, things like that. But for me, in this in the current world where we're in the 3D, we are being reminded of a memory. And I think that that is bringing us a little more power. It's empowering us to move forward in some way. The last card that kind of gives us an idea as to where this reading is going or where it ends up is the Hermit card. The Hermit is, and again, we've got two major arcana out on the board. The Hermit is someone who is a lot of times people interpret this card as, you know, someone who's alone, someone who is um, what's the word? Basically, like hermit, right? By themselves. But to me, the card is telling me that this clarity that comes in makes you, excuse me, makes you go inside. It makes you, it shines a light, right, on a situation or an idea or a thought that maybe you hadn't taken a very close look at before. And I like the idea of the hermit holding this staff in this particular card because it means we're taking internal spiritual action, right? This Ace of Swords, this divine clarity, this understanding, this thought that's come in has made us stop, shine a light on the memory, on that thought, on maybe you've had some dreams lately that deserve a closer look. Maybe you've had a friend tell you, or not, no, not a friend, not a friend, really. Maybe you've had a dream, maybe you've had a thought, or maybe something, maybe very, might have been like a very tiny, like, piece of clarity that has come in and you're just like, wait a minute, this deserves a deeper look. This is all about taking that inward journey. And a lot of times when we take our spiritual journeys, and I will share, last year I had my own, I received my own kind of journeying moment where I had to go deep inside and look and take some real either accountability or actions that that kind of shone a light on some things that were making themselves known in my spiritual world. And a lot of times we uncover gifts this way. Maybe you're uncovering the fact that you are a high priestess and that you have this intuition and this knowing about yourself, and you're not speaking about it. This hermit is basically taking you on a journey of uncovering this clarity, this divine idea, or maybe even the idea of your own divinity and your own power. So, okay, if we look at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. I posted earlier on Instagram and on Facebook, and I'll link below the Instagram and Facebook, well, the Instagram link, if you can see it. But essentially, the bottom of the deck is basically telling us what this reading is all about. This is about someone who is reliving the past in their heads. So this is someone who is either very stressed, very anxious, or possibly even depressed. And the thing that is keeping them up at night is the weight of all these swords. And it's, you know, and we only really need one sword, right? We only really need this divine clarity. But it looks like we've been so overrun with thoughts that are outside of ourselves. We're carrying all these thoughts, we're carrying the weight of all this, and we're not really letting ourselves receive the clarity that we need to see, and we're not letting ourselves go on this hermit journey inwardly to alleviate this Nine of Swords. Because if you look at it, this is a person that is, clearly they were in bed, it's nighttime, they're up in the middle of the night, faces in their hands, trying to figure out like what's happening, what's going on. This is someone who is crying in the middle of the night and trying to figure out, what to do with their life. This is I look in the description that I wrote for this card. This is about challenging ourselves to while this card brings up the idea of challenging ourselves to forgive forgive ourselves for the role that we had in something, or completely just let go. This is challenging us to let go, because very spiritually, to have the Nine of Swords means that we are only torturing ourselves. We're not we're holding on to something that is really, even if we're talking about a memory here, this is someone remembering a painful experience as they torture themselves over the remembering of that experience. Even they're not, they're in bed right now, they're not actually in the experience anymore, but they still hold the weight of that experience on their mind, and it's causing them depression, because whoever they might have been in this experience with, or whatever might have been done, not to make this person a victim, but this person is making themselves a victim by reliving the experience. So the challenge here is, how do we get rid of 8 of these swords and receive the one that is going to clarify our path forward? Because that's what the hermit is doing, is he is uncovering a path. And again, not gender specific here. The hermit is uncovering our path, right? Okay. Wow, that's very powerful. We need to find our path. I think that's part of what this reading is saying, is that we need to understand and embrace our intuitive power, embrace the clarity about that power, and let it shine a light on our path, because we can no longer be in this energy of the Nine of Swords, this depression, this stress, right? And not to say that it can happen overnight, but um, it's interesting. I was actually in a mindfulness class earlier today with my yoga teacher, and he was instructing us on mindfulness. And, you know, he was saying, you know, a lot of the time, you know, we have our problems with anxiety and depression and things like that is because we've gotten away from, um, you know, our building a community of trust, building a community around us, um, you know, making sure that we have enough rest, that kind of thing. And, you know, it's very much in this case that we have to make sure that we are being mindful, right? Because swords are about thoughts and ideas. We have to be sure that we are being mindful about what we carry around, what's ours and what's not, what is to be left behind, what is to be forgiven, what is to be, you know, just let go, right? All right. Wow. So we've got that card. The Nine of Swords was at the bottom of the deck. Underneath that was the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is all about being in nature, which is also something that was mentioned in my mindfulness workshop this morning. So maybe being in nature will help you. Um, the Queen of Wands is also someone who's very passionate, very very free, like free will, very, you know, go with the flow kind of a queen. I actually really love this queen. I sometimes like to identify with her, but she's also all about action. And then, of course, wow, underneath that we have the King of Wands. We have two pair on the table. And the King of Wands himself is all about passion and action. He's looking directly at his queen. She's looking at him. Awesome. Great. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting spread. I want to get some, I want to help, I want to help this hermit shine the light. I want to help you be more mindful and get some positivity going here. And really let's maybe even get some information about the high priestess and this intuition, this intuitive power. Okay. Let's see. What cards do I have that might help with that? Hmm. No. Let's see. Some divine ideas. You know what? I just bought this deck, this Mantegna Tarot. This is by Lo Scarabeo, I believe. Where are you? I believe it is Lo Scarabeo. And I've been kind of playing around with this deck, and it's been okay. But I like the fact that it's basically how do I say this? It's kind of philosophic. The cards are very much about the world around us, and different, mm, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Different, I want to say like philosophical, you know, types of things, but essentially things found in the cosmos, things found in you know our idea of literature and religion and things like that. So basically, like the higher level idea of some topics. So, Spirit, do we have any advice for this person who is experiencing this, trying to understand clarity, trying to shine a light on their path? Someone in their high priestess energy, someone who might need to have an understanding about, ooh, a new idea, and that just fell out. Ugh. Okay, we've got Urania. That is a beautiful card. Just you see how it kind of glows? Okay, so we've got Urania. I'm gonna pull out two more. Maybe Spirit will give me two more. Spirit, can you give me two more cards, please? No. Okay. Spirit, can you give me two more cards? Oh, here we go. We've got Justice again. Wow. Oh wait, no, I pulled Justice yesterday. All right. All right. Let's see. One more card. Well, yep. I'll let it go. And we've got Apollo. All right, I'm going to read the meanings for each of these three cards. I'll put this aside over here. Okay, let's see. So first up, we have Urania, which is number 12. All right. So Urania means search for inner balance, which is a perfect card for this reading. Search for inner balance. Then we have Justice, and this is I think this is mainly like an Italian deck. So Iustica, Iustisha, I think it is. But it is Justice. So let's see, that's card number 37. All right. This means to act honestly, And then we have Apollo, and that is card number 20. Card 20, Apollo. Control of feelings. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so the guidance here is search for inner balance, act honestly, and control feelings. Yeah, a lot of the, yeah, when we talk about being mindful and we talk about some of the things that we can do to work around feelings of depression and anxiety, a lot of times, yes, it is about controlling our feelings with this Apollo card. Yes, and when I say control feelings, it's not so much that we control the feelings themselves, we control the environment that we put ourselves in a way. Like we control, like when you go on social media and you see, and yes, I'm probably guilty of providing, anyway. But when we control what we see on social media, when we control what we see, what situations that we have ourselves in as far as our living situation, or maybe even our financial situation, when we control the messages that we get through those means, we can control, our own health, and we can start paring down one by one these ideas that are keeping us up at night, quite frankly. Um, and then, of course, when we act honestly and we also search for inner balance, that's that space that is created by controlling feelings for the hermit, right? And so we can then start looking at really closely beneath all of that. We can start trusting in our own inner clarity and divine inner clarity. And we can start really believing that we are in this high priestess mode, male or female. Again, we are in this high priestess mode of we are intuitive, and that intuition does not come. It's not there for no reason. It's kind of one of those things that it's a talent, and if we don't use our talent, why are we gifted with it? So, yeah. Basically, get through the bullshit. Get through the BS. Funnel it down, because you're a high priestess. You've been given divine clarity. You've been given this ultimate message of the very things, and of course, I'm pulling out the King and Queen of Wands because that's, that's what came up underneath the Nine of Wands. You've got a true pair out here. So you just got to get through the BS. All right. Awesome read. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If anyone wants to um, book a reading, I am available. Just email. You can either go on my website, which I'll link below, or you can send me a message, and we'll come up with a time and a place. I do my readings via Zoom. I'm also open to do readings where I can record a video for you and send it to you. But we'll work together to understand the right questions and see what works. Okay? Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you find your way um, through this Nine of Swords and into your own clarity, into your own power. All right. Yeah. Thanks so much. I'll put more information in the description box below. Have a great week.